or good afternoon, depending on where you're watching. Welcome back to our Scarred Lands live stream of the Dead Man's Rust campaign for Onyx Path, who recently ran a very successful Kickstarter for Dead Man's Rust. We are Red Scar and Friends. I'm Mark, the GM. I'm beginning with Terry, who's on my left as I look at the screen. Just allow the players to introduce themselves and their characters once again.
My name's Terry. I'm a friend of Mark, and I'm playing Trendali by the name of Dovith, and he's a bard.
Yeah, we had some interesting revelation thing for every character last weekend, but it was great to kind of delve into little bits of your history and trying to keep the hidden with yourself. And now over to Liz.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz. I am also a friend of Mark and a friend of Red Scar. I'm also the owner of Angry Hamster Publishing, and I am playing Vivin. Friends call her Viv. I think everyone in the party is officially on Viv level. And I am an Ashatzi monk.
Yeah, and we found a couple of friends for yourself last week, and raised a few eyebrows, I think, at some of the conversations you had with people that others couldn't see. Good fun. Over to Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm one of the resident writers and general rules goblins over at Red Scar Gaming. I also stream every Thursday, sometimes on Red Scar's channel. Currently, we're guesting over at Free League's channel. You can find me on Twitter at LibertyOtter and come and follow our shenanigans. I'm playing Nirvan, the super friendly, pleasant, funny, none of those things at all, remotely, hollow legionnaire, a soul forged into a suit of armor to fight again, but the war I was brought back to fight ended a century ago, who it is existing and people are crying over, but he's going to die eventually, which is news to him. What could possibly go right?
Yeah, he certainly brought some laughter and smiles last week. Not with all that seriousness. Over to Paco.
Hello, I am Paco. You can find me on Twitter. I am at GMS Magazine, where it's also my website and the YouTube channel, and I also run Mindscape Publishing. But today, though, I am playing Pacandra, and I am a manticore, which means that I am kind of a cat with some very strange concept of boundaries, and imagine that I've had like 5 espressos when playing this character, and that's me. Yeah, that's Pacandra. Very exciting.
Yeah, it was a great week last week. I really appreciate everybody kind of getting into character and pulling the group together. So you've kind of picked up a few inklings of why you are here. You are currently in Leone. You've enjoyed the first night of an event called the Night of Chronicles, which the Manticore hold annually. Kind of draw the storytellers from Gauspad into one place, and all of their own storytellers. It's becoming more and more renowned across the continent and beyond to the other continents, perhaps. You've met a couple of interesting characters. Certainly had some stories of your own to tell from the night. You were introduced initially to a wood dwarf bard called Drodoki Bronzebeard, who was regaling an audience. Unfortunately, you kind of managed to cause a bit of a commotion at the back.
Didn't Paco nearly start an intertribal war over I want to beat them first?
Which also introduced you to a young Manticora who, she was a bit over-enthusiastic perhaps, called Rizzy. And that certainly led to conversations later on in the evening. And after explorations of the night and indulging in various other stories and gambling activities and speaking to some of the spirits that were present, you finally had a bit of a conversation with Drodoki, who has entreated you to help him travel back to his homeland one last time. but in the meantime, Nevin and Vivin are also here on a mission from the Gleaming Valley. The Gleaming Valley are slightly concerned that some Hollow Legionnaires may have not reported in for unknown reasons. So you've kind of picked up a loose trail to a tribe called the Fox tribe up in Scrubwood, which is just to the northwest of Leone. So Drodoki's kind of left it open-ended with yourselves, really. You're welcome to just kind of catch up with him, really, and hopefully leave with him before the last night of the Chronicles. So what is everybody's plan? You know what, it's kind of late evening. Drodoki's wandered off. You're free to your own devices, really.
So we're gonna go see the Fox Clan before we leave with Drodoki, or are we gonna go on the way?
I believe my recollection was we're going to resolve the issue that we've got, the line of investigation we have with the Fox Clan, that because the Night of Chronicles goes on for several nights, and then by the time we've wrapped that up, we're then moving, I think it was south with Bronzeleaf towards further adventure, and I mean a totally uneventful journey which will end completely utterly fine.
I mean, that's what I assumed. Well, in that case, I think I'm just gonna keep drinking and then go to bed.
So
because we need to go see the Fox Clan.
I'll just
later.
give you some sort of geography here, really. I'll switch over to the battle map briefly, and then come back to come back to this. So if I switch over to the battle map here, you can see in the centre of Gauspad there, where my mouse cursor is, there's a large forest called the Ganges. Alex is just whizzing his token around.
Wait, I can't see the map.
I've just reloaded it because you've got to click activate mark to drag people over to it, otherwise they can only see the map that they're on. But I've done that. Okay. So the big kind of central one here, if you can't see the mouse cursor, because you might not be able to, should be able to see the ruler.
Mm-hmm.
Can everybody see the map?
Nope.
Yeah.
I still can't see it, but it's fine. I'll just listen.
F5 it.
Just
I refreshed. It kicked me from the server.
Oh, okay. We'll wait for you to.
Mark.
Yeah.
The conversation I had with the illusionist, he mentioned a place in the north that was kind of populated by wizards that had an interest in the afterlife. I don't remember
that's far to the east. That's Hollowforst. Yeah.
I'm just going to put it in my bucket list.
Yeah, no, that's good. I can show you where that is on the map as well. You back in, Liz?
Yeah, I refreshed a couple times, but it's not showing. But that's all right. Like I can actually open the map in the PDF.
Oh, okay, cool. That's not the Leone map. Sorry, we're on the
okay.
large. Do you have the 5e player's guide for Scarred Lands?
Probably.
So
the map loaded for me now.
Ah, cool.
It's,
okay. So if you can see in the centre, there is a large stretch of forest land called the Ganges. Right where the numbers are flashing up, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then just above that is Clarity Lake. You can see where my cursor is. And then kind of on this southwesterly tip of Clarity Lake is Leone, right on the edge. And then Scrubwood is just above that, so that's where the Fox Clan are, in Scrubwood there.
Cool.
And then your point of interest for necromancers, Terry, is all the way down here in Hollowforst. So they
right, okay.
kind of living around this huge mountain.
Right.
And Drodoki has asked you to travel with him down to the Perfect Plains, which is this stretch of kind of hill, rough terrain in between what's called the Haggard Hills here and the Blood Steppes. So the Broadreach horizon.
So it's on the way anyway. So I'll be going that way anyway then.
Well, I mean, it's your choice. You can either head straight to the Broadreach down here with Judoki, or you can go up to speak to the Fox Clan. You can take a detour to Hollowfast, which the world's your oyster currently. Obviously, you've kind of promised Judoki that you'd travel with him, but that's down to you.
Yeah, but we also had a pressing issue prior to Judoki, which was to investigate this issue that we're having
with the holograms.
Yeah, it's kind of pick up some information, hopefully, from the Fox Clan.
Play.
I think, I mean, the Fox Clan place is fairly close by. I mean, you said that is about half a day's journey from here, or a day and a half, something like that?
Yeah, probably a day into the Scrubwood, and then a little bit of time, perhaps, unless you get directions from somebody here, asking around or travel around to see where they particularly are within Scrubwood.
I mean, this is a very big festival. I presume there must be some Fox people nearby.
You would assume there would hopefully be some of their storytellers here, or some elders, possibly. Yeah, some they'd have some representation here. You'd like to think.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to just try to talk to one of them and see so they can point us in the right direction, so we don't waste any time, and they can give us some information. It may not be the best person to ask them for reasons of my feline complexion, but if we ask them, they might be able to give us some useful hints and tips.
So the Fox clans are actually foxes?
They're Manticora.
Oh.
They just have given themselves a tribal name.
So, okay, so Pecora, shouldn't you, go try to see about the Fox clan?
This Mel.
Well, you can just ignore that.
Will you come with me, Viv?
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay. Whew. Okay. I'm fine. I'm gonna be okay. We can talk to them. That's okay.
But I think I've read once or twice that people don't enjoy you mentioning that they smell.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe don't say that to them, to their face.
Okay.
Maybe I could pop along as well and give you some linguistic inspiration.
Yeah. He's a writer. He's written every type of person. He knows the whole full breadth of normal human interaction.
Oh.
If it can help. I mean, I don't.
Okay, fine. Look, you're my friends, and I've vowed to protect you and be good, and I've been told that one must make sacrifices for one's friends. So I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to ask, where are they?
Thank you for making this sacrifice. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I'm guessing he's still at the mead tent you'd found?
Yes.
Yeah.
A few drinks in, Mark.
Yeah.
A few drinks in.
You can see people are passing out at this time of night. The campfire's outside. It's an open-sided marquee to some degree, made of skin, on big wooden poles, and you can see the fires are burning low. Even the storytellers have drifted away from the fires. People are either falling asleep where they can find a patch, or wandering off to their tents, or heading off into Leone perhaps if they have accommodation there. But yeah, it's heading into the wee small hours currently.
I'm guessing then it might be easier rather than questioning people late at night, to kind of bed down and pick them up early in the morning?
I think I've gotten more charismatic through the day. I don't know what it is, but I think I'm more personable when I drink.
I mean, you're actually talking to people.
Yeah. I've talked to so many alive people tonight, and I just gave good advice about not telling people that they smell. This is probably prime time to go and um well talk to the Fox Clan.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. Um, I'm gonna find the fox thing, person, whatever. So
You're heading off
I-
into the night.
yeah, and see if I can find a somebody from the Fox clan.
Okay. Is anybody accompanying Picandra?
Yeah. I take her I take my drink when I say her. I take my bard. I give a side eye to the quiet one who's refused to drink.
Just
Okay.
internally, just like if I tell her, she won't learn, so I've got to just.
You staying put, Nevin?
I'll follow behind, but several paces behind. I'm primarily looking for a decent campsite out of the way.
Okay.
Because at this late of night, most people are probably going to have turned in. We'll probably only meet the sentries.
Dovith.
There's, I'm gonna
Sorry?
follow them because I'm worried about the kind of trouble they might get themselves into, and they might need something
Okay, so I can imagine Picandra and Vivian.
in a way that they don't get in trouble.
Yeah, Picandra's slightly nervous at this point. Vivian's looking to offer some moral encouragement and support. And Nevin and Dovith are a few paces behind. Seeming rather...
Prime kind of collar pull distance
Yeah.
of like.
Yeah, I mean there are a few people out and about. Say people, some manticore strolling around. Not much in the way of a militia or anything. Just that there seem to be some manticore that have given themselves the duty of essentially acting as bouncers for the event. And the odd human, or you even spot an orc strolling through the camp, heading into town.
Focus.
Sorry, that's fine. They are so strong and fascinating. Sorry.
They'll be strong and fascinating tomorrow. We have a manticore to find.
Okay, fine. I think they're in that direction.
Okay.
So I just I presume, do we find one of them? I can just see them and say hi.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the dice roller. It just seemed to have disappeared off the one thing that's disappeared off the board. Just give me a second, I'll pull that back up. I'll pick that up after or during the break. Yeah, you talk to one of the self-appointed bouncers of the kind of sprawling tent site that's taken position outside of Leone. And she points you over to one of the other bouncers that's strolling on the other side of the encampment. And he eventually guides you to one of the fires that started to burn low. And you find what looks to be an elder manticora. Essentially taken up. They've set up a tarpaulin that's stretched out, a skin tarpaulin that's stretched out from one of the benches that people use, either to tell a story or sit and participate in the audience. But you can see, yeah, there's a female elder manticora, looking rather cosy, cowled up with her tail up near her nostrils, and her snoring's kind of waving, making her tail hair waver.
I, fill out my chest. Hello, elder.
She continues to snore softly.
I am here to talk to you.
She's still snoring away.
She's asleep.
She's asleep, yeah.
Beth, may I have a sip of your drink? I take the drink and I just pour it on top of that and I give it back to Beth.
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
And
I just take a step backwards.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And I say, oh, I am so sorry, Beth. I didn't see you there and you tripped. Hello, Elder. We are so sorry. We just tripped. This was a complete accident. That wasn't meant to happen at all like that. How are you?
She leaps awake with a like, yow! And springs pretty much instantly to, you foolish car.
Hi. Are you right? Sorry about that. I'm sure you can lick it off or something. That
As she obviously you've said, Viv, careful not to trip again. She's glaring at you, Viv. Now she's like, how dare you? Your guests in our town.
If I may interject here, that if anyone could have your ire, it's me. I distract them with a story. They weren't paying attention. It was an accident. I can only apologize. And if there by any recompense, if maybe I could kind of do something to kind of calm your spirit. So.
Oh, so now we have an elf offering me an apology, do we?
Elf?
Can you speak for yourself, you slippery snake?
Oh, okay. Enough. I am sorry. I will not allow you to treat my friends in such manner. You may have rejected me once, but this is not going to happen again.
Quiet, youngling. I am talking.
So am I. Why should you talk?
And she points at you, Viv.
Just say that you regret it. Don't say sorry. Just say I regret it.
I regret it. I'm so sorry. This was the wrong choice.
Well,
happy?
I'll expect you all at one of my stories tomorrow. Now, good night.
No, good night. No, good night. No, good night. No, good night. We came to ask a question.
Oh, so it's not good enough to tip your beverages over me?
No. Now, listen, do you want to be the one who actually manages to save a whole race of... No, I look at Nevin. Not humans. Because the question that we have to ask you is directly related to something that will have the whole future of a lot of people in the balance. I cannot say any more. So I need to know, where can we find your tribe within the forest where you've taken, because you just went there without me and live there. I need to know where they are.
I'm getting a bit confused. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or not. So you're asking for my help in rescuing another species?
Don't worry about that. Just tell me where you live. Jeez. Why do you all make everything so difficult? Just tell me where you
Why do I
live.
need to tell you where I live, youngling?
Because I need to find you, because we need some information, because otherwise, you see that person over there, you know, that half-dead person with the absolutely magnificent armor, who is a beautiful, beautiful person, such a gorgeous soul. Well, he's going to die if we don't find you. I don't want him to die. I've vowed that he's not going to die. And if you don't tell me where to find you, then he could die, and I don't want him to die. So don't let him die. Don't be that
Okay, let me stop
cat.
you there. Let me stop you there. Let me ask you one simple question.
Uh-huh.
Is he Manticora?
No.
Then
But it doesn't matter because his
don't
soul is.
I don't care.
But I do. And I am Manticore. If you care about Manticore, which you probably don't either, bastard, then you will care about me. And if you care about me, because if he dies, I don't know what I will do.
Oh, which
You
tribe are
see?
you from, youngling?
Pardon?
Which tribe are you from?
I am from the Haggard Hills. My family went there when you decided that you didn't want to have us. Remember that? No, you probably don't. Never mind that.
So you're from one of the tribes that's forgotten.
Uh-huh.
Or to Vangal, I guess.
Uh-huh. But that doesn't matter. Don't be xenophobic. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Yes, you are all welcome to head to the Fox Clan.
Okay.
They will welcome you with open arms.
You're joking.
Somebody can give me an insight check if you like.
Oh my God! And I look at the rest of it. See.
Let's give it DC 12, and that's not too tough. She's not trying to hide her double
No,
Chandra.
they've mentioned the oath to they of whom we do not speak. Nevada is currently exerting every single ounce of effort to not lop their head off, just on principle.
I'm too scared to incite this woman.
I think everyone's sarcastic anyway, so I'm just taking it.
Oh, okay. My insight is not bad.
Anybody beat 12?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So, you know, even under your youthful exuberance, something rings very, very wrongly about the invite she's just given you. You know, almost like a spider luring you into its web feeling.
Listen, Elder, because I can sense my friends are running out of patience, which is a bad thing. I wouldn't want my friends to run out of patience, because if they run out of patience, the likelihood, can you see that non-dead person there? He's likely to die. And if he dies, then I have no reason to stay alive. None at all. None at all. So, I understand that you don't care about anybody who doesn't smell, who is not part of your tribe. I get it. I don't, but I get it. But the fact is that without you telling us where we're going to go, we're just going to have to find somebody else. And then we're going to go to the tribe. And then we're going to have presents and perfumes to bring with us. And then we're going to get the information we need. And then we're going to have to tell the chief of the tribe that you did not want to help us. And then you will not be able to get and to reap the rewards of the magnificences that we are going to bring to the tribe.
I'm not going to take you unless Velashal orders it.
Unless what?
Unless Velashal orders it. And
Who's that?
You know she's the Pride Mother that runs Leone.
Okay, I got to see her. No, that's fine. She's all right. Where is she?
Well, she'll be in town, I'd imagine, taking her rest. As I should be.
Oh my God. But town is big. My goodness, why do you all make everything so complicated? Life should be a lot easier. My goodness. Fine, I will tell her that you were not helpful.
I'm just going to start pulling her away, like slowly. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go.
She's not. As she sees you kind of starting to head away, she just starts to towel herself dry with some woolen garment she picks up, and she's just really settling herself back down quite quickly. Just lost interest in you all quite as soon as you turn to move away.
I start to purr, trying to calm myself down a little bit.
I thought that went well. At least it didn't end in bloodshed.
Of course. Why would it? Why would it? Why? I don't understand. Why would it?
You obviously didn't feel the vibes I was getting off Nevin then.
Sorry, well, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, don't worry, you did very well.
Thank you.
The Fox clan still revere the fallen ones.
Yeah.
Sorry?
The Fox clan, the creature mentioned with disdain Pagantra's membership of a clan that no longer reveres the fallen one.
Oh. You obviously listened much closer than I was. I was pretty interested in the amount of backstepping that was going on there. I think, to be honest with you, we need to call the line under it today and kind of start with fresh eyes and ears in the morning. And then maybe go and see this clan chief and see if we can get ourselves an audience.
So just explain for the audience if anybody is watching. Vangar is the chaotic evil god of the Skylands, the Reaver. He's bad mojo, basically. He's not a nice guy.
But he's a god, not a titan, isn't he?
He is a god, yeah. The Manticore were essentially his followers, but he abandoned them after the Divine War and just left them to their own devices, which is why a lot of them have tried to reintegrate themselves, really. But it seems that obviously some people still like to name drop him.
My absent dad's better than your absent dad.
It would seem so.
My absent dad's much more absent than yours.
I can't even remember the face of my absent dad. Just
Your absent dad's wedged inside an iron golem, Dovith.
Either way, I think night draws in. We need to get some rest. Wake up in the morning, have some sustenance, and see what we can do about arranging some kind of audience.
okay. Nevin will erupt an encampment on the outskirts of town.
Yeah.
Preferably on like a gully or with some kind of terrain, some kind of semi-defensible position, just out of habit.
Yeah, sure. Setting up
You mean a foxhole?
You're in a completely flat desert, Alex. No, it's not flat anymore. Why? I'm digging myself a foxhole. I'm fortifying this position.
Yeah, your night passes quite peacefully, to be fair, once you all settle down.
Yep.
Assuming that you're all settling down now. I don't know if anybody wants to have any other nocturnal
Well,
adventures.
I spend the night cleaning all my equipment
Okay.
because I don't sleep.
I've drunk too much. I need
The
to
short
really
entries in my book and take some sleep.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, Sakura's still wandering along behind you as well. It seemed quite he seemed quite humoured by the exchange with the Fox Elder.
Yeah, I just go to bed mumbling to him about how maybe alcohol does make me more charismatic. And I should think about this tomorrow. Maybe do some journaling.
As Nevin
Clutching
is
your tenant,
buffing out one of his belts, he's just like, right, okay, don't gloat. You won't learn if you gloat in the morning.
We all know how that's gonna go.
My very last words before I kind of shout to Kandra is, Have you ever considered a career as a diplomat? Go to sleep.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not going to answer. I'm asleep now.
I need to bed.
Yeah, you all. Well, Nevin, you watch. Keep watch all night.
Mhm.
Undisturbed. You hear some of the bouncers strolling around through the tents and camps. Don't hear any fights break out. It's a fairly uneventful night.
Mhm.
Even despite the rivalry that can sometimes take place between different Manticore tribes and, in fact, different members of the same tribe.
Mhm.
And depends what time you'd like to awaken everybody. Really, they don't seem to want to arise fairly early for some reason.
Well, auxiliary Vivian is awoken at dawn for her morning drills as always.
Yeah. You're not
Pick
sure
it
about,
up.
You're not sure about this Manticore and Mead. Your head's fairly sore. Even speaking to Sakura, who greets you in the morning, it seems like you're talking to him through a watery microphone.
Auxiliary Vivian reporting for duty.
Oh, don't scream.
Pick up the cooler stuff.
Oh, my head.
Right. Now, defend yourself.
Oh,
Ow! Please stop hitting me. I can't take it today.
you're
Oh, we're not in the mood for war today.
No.
Shall we tell the Blade Beast that we're feeling tired?
I don't want the babies today.
Once are for parties and love play. War happens.
I'm gonna be sick.
While they're doing that, I'm going in search of.
Don't you waste that water.
In search
Don't
of,
you
I'm going to look for kind of pastries or bread or something like that. Some fresh bread.
Yeah, there are some wonderful smells drifting across the encampment from the direction of Leone itself. And the fires have been stoked up. They're preparing them for the day again. There's lots of wood being dragged in, lots of flammable material being dragged into these fires to cater them. And there are some cooks who've set up stalls and trade stands around either the fires or around the outskirts of the encampment. All sorts of
I'll find
delicacies
the
and meats.
beefiest stuff you can do to bring back to camp.
Yeah, you
And I'll bring
usually,
something.
you usually spend 6 or 7, a handful of silver to bring back some food for everybody.
And then I'll bring back the breakfast or maybe some fruit juices or something.
Yeah, Dovif returns with a veritable treasure trove of breakfast sundaes.
And I, obviously offer for everyone to eat their fill. Because you have to start adventures on a full tummy. There's no point starting an adventure on an empty tummy.
why are you all screaming? I mean, he's gone to scream with his spear or his sword or whatever. And if you're screaming because you don't want to do it. And you're screaming because you want me to eat. And my head is very fuzzy. What did you give me to drink last night? I'm not used to drinking. What happened?
Do you know, I think it's best that we don't recall these things. I think sometimes the brain consigns these things to history because you just don't need to know. Stop! It's a fresh day. The sun has risen. The birds are chirping. I brought fresh juice and pastries. We'll eat. We'll be merry. And then somehow we're trying to find an audience with this chief person.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
I think so. I think that was the conclusion of last night's efforts.
Well, it's dawned a nice bright day. The sun's already climbing to ward off.
Nice bright day to a party of hungover people.
Feels
Oh,
like,
the
yeah.
hateful ball in the sky!
Wait, as a lizard and being hungover, does the warmness make me just like lay down and do nothing for the whole day? I'm just like, ah.
Ground is
Recharge.
warm. Ground is good.
Must bask all day.
It's like cannot get up.
But how about those-
Training spear. No, it's my memory stick. Come on, move, live.
as you're gathering your wits and trying to enjoy some breakfast through the haze of the previous night and the mead that you drank, a shadow gets cast across the camp from somebody that's approaching, and you can see a male manticore striding up towards you.
Do I recognize him?
He has a tribal tattoo which you recognise as Fox.
Oh.
He looks just a little bit older than yourself, Pakandra. Dressed in a rather woodsy type. He's carrying a bow, a hunting knife. Definitely either some sort of warrior or a scout.
Okay, in kind of hush tones, I said to everybody, watch your breakfast. And I do this, and I put whatever I'm eating, I kind of try to protect it.
Yeah.
And I say, hello, fellow.
He stops by the campfire and rather formally he strikes a rather formal manticore, a greeting. Crouches down, offers his paw, and says, "Greetings. May I join your fire?"
I give the paw.
Join us and make yourself known, sir.
Just join us. Thank you.
He drags over. If there's not a log there, he drags one over and takes a seat. And says, "I'm Zeldan, and Shora mentioned that she had some visitors last night, so I've asked around and found myself here."
Hey, was that us? I looked at you all around. Was that us?
I hope our scuffle last night didn't cause offence by any stretch of the imagination. It was not our intention, indeed. Unfortunately, we were making our way back from a rather heavy session with the mead and stumbled across your elder and certainly didn't mean to cause offence. And if reparation is needed, then that's something we can discuss. But we do have matters of import that we could potentially discuss with you.
She didn't mention anything about a scuffle, just the fact that she got wet, which I found quite humorous. Otherwise, she is an elder, so I tried not to laugh in front of her.
What's your name?
My name, Zeldan.
I mean, I've been told that I must be diplomatic. So I mean no disrespect, but you kind of very humorous for a Fox Clan member.
Don't I recognise you?
No.
Are you sure?
Maybe no. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. Well, perhaps I don't. No.
You haven't
No. I don't.
joined trials to.
That
Maybe
must
I'm
have.
mistaken.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you might be. Why would it be me? Why would it be me? Why would it be me? If it was me, I would have been joined, wouldn't I?
I'm pretty good at remembering the name, but yeah.
Ah.
If you say I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure that if I had tried to join in, I would have joined in, wouldn't I? I think I would. Why would you reject me? Why? I don't know exactly. No reason.
Not everybody finds the Fox Clan to their tastes.
No, I bet they don't. I bet.
Although the Fox Clan generally find everybody else to their tastes.
Yeah, but you do. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. You were having some breakfast. Sorry.
Huh? What did I mean, joining? Like,
Never mind. Look, why don't we look? Why don't we just? Hello, why are you here? Sorry. Yes, very direct. That's me.
Well, I'm here to help. Really, she said that you mentioned you wanted some answers from the Fox Clan.
Yes.
And I'm sure what her answer would have been, or yeah, I don't imagine her invite would have led to good health for yourselves.
Well, the thing is,
Sorry.
you know what? I just need to delegate this on my friends because I can't really remember a lot of what happened last night. I had like
We are seeking information
drinks.
relating to Hollow Legionnaires in the area where your tribe operates. We understand that there have been several sightings and bizarre instances. We are also seeking out a particular Hollow Legionnaire individual by the
Exactly.
name of... Check my notes.
Adamantine.
Fine.
There's the surname.
Elise. Adamantine Elise.
Yeah.
Do you have any information on these instances, or do you know who would?
I don't know Adamantine. We did have a couple of Hollow Legionnaires spend a little bit of time with us. They were travelling the area trying to help more Manticora tribes transition really from the old ways to towards a newer dawn really. They didn't meet with great success at the Fox Clan, but some of us listened. Hence my being here now.
Here.
Sorry?
When you listened. What did you hear when you listened?
Well, just that. I mean, the foxes have been quite resistant to what I consider progress here at Leone and amongst our people as a whole. So, you know, I heard that this will be a brighter and better path for us, as it appears to be. So, hopefully I can still bring some of our elders around to that way of thinking and slowly move the foxes to a brighter dawn, as I've already said. You know, we were renowned in the Divine War as scouts for Vanguard. So I've kind of taken it upon myself to scout the future really and find a better path for us than the old ways.
Hollow Legionnaires, once they left your tribe, where did they go?
Straight to the point, as always. Her name was Ravana, and it was my belief that she was heading further south.
What to what? Like, why did you think that?
Because she had a rather wide mission statement of trying to bring some of the old, let's say, old disagreements between even divine races to kind of conclusion around these parts. And as you know, her parting words were that she was heading down towards the Broadreach to hopefully work with the elves and dwarves and other species down there.
Where was that place again?
Down in the Broadreach.
Broadreach.
Broadreach Horizon. Just the other side of the Ganges, I believe.
Oh, I mean, maybe that is potentially our next portal line. Is it en route? If we take Bronzebeard where he's going, I don't know the geology above ground as well as I do underneath. So you guys will have to kind of help me on this.
No, I know the name Bronzebeard, but I don't know where you're heading with him.
Well, it was.
Thank you for the information.
No worries. Hopefully,
I offer him a fruit juice and pastry.
Yeah. Hopefully, when you're back in this area.
Well, you don't have to rush it, obviously. You know, thank you. Very kind giving us that information.
Hopefully, when you're back in this area, I'll be able to invite you for a more sociable visit to the Fox Clan.
Perhaps.
For for sake of argument, Mark, can I incite this guy? He's just so helpful compared to the woman, and like she told him about us, and this just all seems too.
Did we find the crazy old aunt after she was 2 bottles in? And
Yeah, go for it.
Aaron in cat form.
I have
Karen in cat.
11. Not great.
That's mildly terrifying. That implies that there's Karen in elephant form.
I'm too busy with my pastry.
Sweet nectar.
He's, you know, you've experienced 2 extremes. Picandra's really warm and bubbly and welcoming.
Mhm.
Shura was the complete opposite extreme end, and clearly she had some hang-ups from the Divine War. Zeldan seems kind of like somewhere in the middle, really, as most of the Manticore you've seen in and around Leone seem to be. Not standoffish, but not overly welcoming either. So, yeah, he seems quite genuine.
Okay.
Did anybody else make an insight check?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I might.
You do recognise him, by the way, Picandra.
There we go. That is a nat 20.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, he's definitely being
Nat
genuine.
20 of the game.
He's being genuine.
He's kosher.
Can I ask what in the end convinced you to find another path? I have a friend. I try not to look at my dead friend when I say that, but then I just like look and then look back. Who may be going through a similar issue. Not her, not them. I point to Picandra. Not them. That they're fine. Another friend.
Okay. Looks a bit confused. It was Ravana herself. She presented a good discussion points to the some good discussion points to the tribe. Thankfully, I
Did
managed.
they like and everything?
Sorry.
Or not? You say you'd like to have a conflict.
No.
I mean, what was the approach? I mean, what were they trying to get you to sign up to? It
Not sign
seems
up to anything. Just convince us that there were, not that there is a right way, but that there are different ways to avoid extinction, I guess, would be the polite way of putting it, because the world is changing. It is time for the Manticore to look at the bigger picture and be part of a.
Well, I'm just trying to get my head around what the main tenets of what we're trying to get you to think about were.
Look,
The moot point.
For me, the gods are. The gods. We've always been told that the gods are a firm presence on Gauspad. I've seen signs of the gods. I've never seen a god or. I fought Titan Spawn. I fought the so-called divine races, and never really fought badly about doing either, to be honest. But having been abandoned by Vangal and all we get hammered into us at the Fox Clan is that Vangal will return and lead us back to a path of blood and glory. I just don't see that happening. So,
Because I'm just trying to correlate, because I'm wondering whether the issue that
We should have you talk to Ravana.
the issue the Hollow Ones are having may be something to do with someone who's actually taking up a contrary position to what they're teaching, and is not at all impressed with their kind of rhetoric, and thus has caused this issue to arise that we're currently experiencing. Have you had anyone who's kind of approached you recently with a contrary position to what the Hollow Ones were telling you?
I haven't, no, and it's not something I give much fifth to at the moment, if at all, ever.
Oh, thank you for your candor. It is
What, are you
appreciated.
suspicious of somebody that I should be on the lookout for?
I'm suspicious of everybody. I'm a Jindari. I'm supposed to be. It's a means of survival.
I know little of your people, so I'll take your word for it. In fact,
Anyway,
I don't think I've ever
conversation,
fought
isn't
one.
it? Well, you wouldn't know if you were.
Well, I fought dwarves, I fought wood elves.
You could see those.
Hmm.
If I didn't die, you wouldn't see them coming. It could just be poof. All would be black. But that's not me. I'm not the fighting type. Never have been.
I can tell by the laces and frills.
That's just showmanship.
So, have I satisfied your curiosity?
You've been very kind. Thank you very much. Now I think my friends need to get back to nursing their bad heads. But maybe we'll see you later today, possibly. You never know.
Well, I'm around. I didn't tell Shura that I was heading to speak to yourselves, but...
Well, that's very kind of you.
That's not to say I can't hold my own against her, despite the fact that she is an elder. And I don't mean that in fighting terms, I just mean that in
An alpha male term.
hierarchy, yeah.
Mm.
I'll leave you to your breakfast. Hope
Thank you
I've
very much.
answered some questions. Yeah, he just stands up, picks up one last piece of meat and wanders off.
That was a bizarre conversation. Enlightening. Right, guys, I'm going to let you nurse your heads while I go and take a tour around the town. All this sunlight is kind of not good for my skin. I'm going to say if I can find a bookshop or some sort of building that I can hide away in the dark for a little while.
Hmm.
Could someone be angry at the Hollow Legionnaires for turning people away from Vengar?
Someone is always angry at someone for something at some point or other. It's just
It's a very reductionist way to view things.
it's a very realist way.
I fear conflict, and therefore this conversation is over. I turn away.
Because auxiliary, what is the purpose of fear?
What? And then, huh?
It is to be overcome.
Here is the mind killer.
It is the little death.
Hey. Gonna take this sweet roll. Just gonna take my book. Gonna go over there now. Bye.
I think she's going to sulk with her.
I'm just going to eat and drink my juice and try not to hear all the incredibly loud noises that everybody is making right now.
Well, I'm going to go for a wander. I'll see you guys later. Maybe I'll meet you at the meat tent. No? No one for the meat tent? No one at all?
I will meet you at the meat tent at noon.
I'll meet you at the meat tent at noon.
Yeah.
With that, I turn tail and find somewhere dark.
You too.
Heading back to sleep.
Not my
Kandra?
soul.
You headed back to sleep, Kandra, kind of.
I'm going to just curl up a little bit. I'm just going to lick my armpit and just go to sleep.
Doze off the hangover. Viv?
I think I'm just gonna have some more conversation with my dead friend. Because I think maybe him like speaking to Ravana might be a good idea. Maybe like she has some insight for him, so maybe that's the next step. So I'll just talk to him about that, and then I'll just like spread eagle on the sand in the sun, like
Find a warm rock.
yes, yes. I'm gonna find a warm rock and pretend I'm reading by putting a book over my face.
Okay. You've probably seen this once or twice before, Nevin.
Yeah, I have. I give it about 5-10 minutes because then I know that she's actually like fully succumbed and is sleeping, and then I find a bucket of very cold water.
You're a monster! A monster! I'm gonna warfan you in the face next time!
Maybe this time you'll actually hit me.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know what it would be like to go against me. Because if you did, you would not be good. So think about that.
I can't put into words how helpful that is.
You know what? I learned last night that that's sarcasm. So you know what you can do? You can take your sarcasm and put it where the sun don't shine. I take a step back.
So sorry, auxiliary, are you offering to carry more stuff in your pack?
No, I was.
The sun doesn't shine in your pack because it's properly secured, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you know what? As you're so fond of that rock, you can carry it with you.
But it's really big. I don't think I can carry it.
It's like stretch out and it's like the size of a table.
like logistically, even if I had a lever, I'm pretty sure I couldn't lift it.
Well, as you are, as you put it, so good and I would be so bad at going against you, I wouldn't want to get between you and it. So I tell you what, name it Nevin and maybe that will motivate you.
Okay.
Or you could apologize.
Well, I'll meet you outside of town with this rock.
I'll leave packing down camp to you, auxiliary. I have business in town.
Mark, I need to find 2 horses and a carriage. And is 15 gold enough to buy me 2 horses and a carriage?
Probably services for a few days, not outright, but.
Excellent. I spend all my money on 2 horses and a carriage. No regrets. And I try to get some people to help me put the rock on the carriage, please.
15 gold will certainly cover you for kind of like a small labour force.
Excellent.
Yeah, you find the orc that you spotted strolling through last night. Dwarf offers to help as well. Although they eye each other a little bit warily. It's the dwarf that has the 2 horses in the cart. He's brought some wares across from Burrockton. And some of his crew pitch in to help as well. But yeah, they break out their picks and shovels and start to dig in around the sizable rock.
I help them while I'm doing that. I'm like, wake me up with the beating, and then you put the water on me. Now I'm going to show you going to carry this rock around till I die.
Money has no value to me, but it's fantastic for proving a point.
The dwarf, he's called Axan. He says, "Do you realise this rock could go pretty deep? Like, as in, you've heard of the phrase tip of the iceberg?"
Oh, well, can we maybe just cut off the top and cover the rest with sand?
He kind of leans back on his pick. Oh, now you're changing the terms of the deal.
I have this jar with flesh in it. I can give that to you. I think it's the flesh of my dead parents, and it means a lot to me. But you can have it. I really need to prove this point to my mentor because he's really mean.
He sounds quite mean. Where is he from?
The Golden Spire.
Oh, he's one of those ghosty things, is he?
Hmm.
Hmm.
But not like a normal ghost, who are actually really nice, like understandable people with actual emotions.
Uh, okay. Uh,
The Zool, only Nevin.
I think just because I'm so confused, I'm gonna let you change the terms of the deal, and yeah, let's crack this rock open, boys.
Oh, thank you so much. You are so kind, sir. I can't thank you enough.
He goes over to his cart, pulls out a set of big gauntlets, and straps them on, and picks up his axe, and you see his blows start to hit this big rock a lot more mightily.
Awesome. I try to help however I can, whether that's just like bringing them water or like
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever I can do. Like I actively try to help with this. I'm used to hard work.
You see the orc as well. He starts to drive some pittons in at various points, and then the dwarves give him a bit of grudging respect for that as well. He's driving them in, making various cracks as you start to pitch in, and they grudgingly start to kind of offer advice or eye his workmanship with a more praising eye than they were before. Certainly.
I imagine at the carnival, it's actually causing a bit of a stir. It probably comes off as a bit of performance art or something.
Yeah, I mean it's
A metaphor for something
you're
about
at this
moving.
piece of rock for pretty much a good chunk of the day, and yeah, eventually it starts to draw a bit of a crowd because you are on the extreme outskirts of where the tent encampments were, but all the noise and activity does eventually draw a bit of a crowd. People, yeah, you're right. What are they up to? What could they possibly be making here?
You should get them to beat the rock for you, or at least put a face on it.
I don't want to change the terms, but what I do if it's drawing a crowd is I put out, because like the Manticora, they like one of their traditions is to like kind of pay people for performances. So I do put out like a hat for the workers to see if I can get them any extra money.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's not just, I mean, people leave coin, but it's not just coin. They leave a meal or some small token, whether that's another jar with some pickled skin in or some strange feathers. It's tokens are left, and yeah, people are just stood around scratching their head, wondering what could possibly be coming out of all this activity on this boulder that's being hacked to pieces.
We call this piece the hollow point. It's basically about when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force, but the unstoppable force is way better.
I love it. Nevin and Dovith, you've headed off into Leone, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Are you together, or are you strolling off separately?
Well, I went.
I think Devon went off early, and I had a domestic.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll get Dovith underway.
I was kind of looking for curios and a dark place to kind of hide, because not being an uplander, the old sun is causing a bit of an issue for me. So I'm going to look for a couple of dark shops or dark spaces where I can maybe enjoy a coffee and have a look at some books and check out some curios and just kind of take the time to kind of make the most of my day and kind of fill it up with something is a bit relaxing, because I imagine the next few weeks or so are going to be quite fitful and kind of
one of the cool so there are a few points of interest inside town. You've got the Hunter's Library, where you've obviously gathered from the Night Chronicles that the Manticore are mainly a story-based oral species, so a lot of history is passed down from speaker to speaker. But they have built a library in town, so they have started to collect some of their history and works together in written form. And
if that's the case, then it would, could I possibly? There's two topics I'm interested in that I kind of like to research at this point. One is obviously Hollowfrost, and to learn a bit more about that place. But anything pertaining to wizardry or the magical arts.
Yeah. I mean, you can spend most of the morning, I guess, lost in the tomes trying to research up about the Manticore and their attachments to any magical arts. Your research really leads you to the understanding that they aren't into so much the wizardly arts, as in they're more sorcerous.
Mhm.
So yeah, they follow more sorcerous bloodlines, and pacts with other beings. And
Good.
I'll send you. I won't go into it now. I'll send you some notes on Holoforce outside of the game, so
Lovely.
we don't slow up the game too much. But yeah, you managed to gather a few notes on what the Manticore understand or their perception of Holoforce. It's not necessarily, the truth as Holoforcians would probably present it, but.
So completely goffing out for the day, drinking, dark coffee, dark drinks, and kind of reading esoteric pages and books. That's pretty much, that this is life of luxury for me. So
Yeah,
busman's holiday.
absolutely. Nevan.
Hello. So I'll wander into town. I'm basically observing the ins and out of the town. I'm keeping, if I bump into Bronzeleaf or anyone that I recognize, because am I remembering right from last session that Adamantine runs a tavern that's local?
It's not local to Leone. It's in another region, basically. But everybody's hoping to expect her or a representative at the Night of Chronicles.
Okay, so I'll wander around just observing manticores in their natural habitat. I'm keeping an ear out for anyone that's a cartographer or a map maker.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'd probably find some kind of menial physical task that's, whether that's the blacksmiths or something else, to keep myself occupied.
You come across a stall, and there are multitudes of stalls set up across the kind of encampment that's now currently sprawling outside of Leone. Selling things from weapons to general items that you can purchase in town.
Yep.
And yeah, you come across a stall with somebody that's rather dusky skinned, a kind of middle-aged man. With the heat of the sun, he's dressed in nice loose robes, a beard that kind of reaches down to the middle of his chest, and he has several maps sprawled out across his stall.
Okay, are they local or are they of the whole continent, or is there a kind of a range?
Well, as you stroll up to the stall to take a look.
Yep.
Business seems a bit slow at his stall currently. Welcome in. Yes. Maps from across Skarn. Would you like to visit Tamana today? Would you like to focus in on a region of Galspad? How can I help you? My name is Jorah.
Greetings, Jorah. I'm Nivan of the Legion. How recent are your maps of the local area?
Well, I travel quite extensively myself and update the maps regularly. The ones from the other side of the world, the faraway lands of Tamana, could be a little bit out of date, but certainly the maps of Galspad I update as much as possible. Some could be 6 months to a year out of date, some perhaps a decade or more.
I require a map of Galspad, and if you have a regional map that covers the Garnist Forest down to... Player doesn't have the notes. What was the name of the
Ganges down to the Broadreach Horizon, sorry.
Yeah, that's
or
it.
Did you want to go beyond that to the Blood Steps?
I'll start with the Blood Steps, and then when he hits me with the price, I can then wind it back.
Well, I mean, the map of Gelspad, they're quite easy to fabricate. I'm happy to sell you that to you for a couple of gold.
Mm-hmm.
The certainly the map of the Broadreach and surrounds like the Ganges and the Hornswell Forest. That's required a little bit more of my expertise. Let's call that 5 gold.
Mm-hmm. So 7 gold total. I pay him in 7 very shiny pressed gold pieces, gold pieces that are on like a length of knotted cord.
As you go to kind of hand him the coins, he seems a little bit perturbed, kind of like, oh, okay, thanks for your coin. He rolls up the maps and presents them to you in a scroll case, each. So you get a scroll case for each map. Well, thanks for the business. Such fun.
Indeed. Is there a map that you have that is unique?
What? Several? How do you mean?
Unique, not like others.
Well, do you mean magical? Or do you mean...
Magical, rare, an area that is rarely visited by a cartographer, an area that has recently undergone vast changes.
So, yeah, I do have some pre-Divine War maps, certainly. Some even rumoured to, of course we have no history of that time anymore, but some even rumoured to portray the realm of the ancients. Don't ask me any more than that, because any scholar I've spoken to just names them as the ancients. Even the Great Library of Loco couldn't answer many questions for me on that one.
And you came by these maps how?
Well, I travel rather extensively, and I have a great network. I hail from Shozar, you see, and have a great network of agents that seek out rare and unique maps for me.
Interesting. Do you travel to the Gleaming Valley?
I have not yet. Is that an invitation? Perhaps you could escort me.
Perhaps. I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
Excellent, excellent. Maybe it'd be...
You take the whole town on the road trip.
Maybe we could come to some arrangement, and maybe I could pay you for your services in that area.
These unique maps perhaps should be studied somewhere safe.
Oh, of course. I mean, one of them, another rare map I have is a map of the Skykeep Ruin and its surrounds. A legendary place indeed.
Is the character aware of that name, or is it as?
Yeah, it resonates with you somehow.
Okay.
You're not. You can't drag from your memory, but it feels very familiar to you.
Okay. May I see this map?
Yeah, he kind of like looks around, reaches into. He opens a trunk, and the trunk just appears black. So as he reaches in, and his hand seems to enter this void, and he pulls out a map. And again, kind of glances surreptitiously around and lays the map out on the table. And you can see a very mountainous region, and you can certainly see a ruined keep in amongst that.
Okay. And how much is this map?
sure it's for sale. I had intended to travel there at some point myself.
But as we're travelling together, I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
Well, there are rumoured to be great treasures at Skykeep, you understand.
Rumours are wonderful things. They're endless.
Well, I've heard many rumours of ghosts in suits, yet here one stands before me.
Mm.
Do you not believe
We
in
leave in 4 days. You can meet me at the east of the town. If you're not there by noon, I will assume that you have found other means of travel.
So you're heading back to the Gleaming Valley from the Night of Chronicles?
I'm heading south from there. I can escort you part of the way.
He
I have my
strokes
own.
his beard for a moment. Yes, perhaps that is doable. How are you travelling? Overland? By water? It's important, you know.
Oh, overland. Currently.
Then I shall ensure to purchase myself a horse.
Indeed. I will
Sorry.
take my leave now.
I didn't get your name, sorry.
Nivan.
Nevan. Nevan of the
Third
North.
shield. Golden Spire.
Excellent. Excellent. I look forward to an enjoyable and fun journey together.
Nivan turns to leave and then turns back and says, "Ghost in suits is what I leave behind," and then keeps on walking off.
He kind of, he gives a deep barrel-chested laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have some humour, my friend, he shouts after you.
Keeps on walking.
Pakandra, you awaken around midday to loud, tumultuous chipping and hammering of rock not too far from your encampment. And I think that is where we're going to take a short break, if that's okay with everybody. We're just going to take a 10-minute break from the game. We'll be back shortly to continue our adventures in Scarred Lands through the Dead Man's Rust campaign. Look forward to seeing you all shortly. And we are back. Red Scar and friends. I noticed that Zoom has been excellent for me and swapped everybody's images around. So let me just briefly adjust name tags here. I'm still at who I am.
We've entered that part of the session. Everyone switch character sheets.
Yeah.
Just,
Yes.
Such a...
It's odd because I do like the Chimera characters, but it's like being in an old episode of Thundercats.
yeah. With a different Manticora.
I'm just waiting for Cassandra to say snarf.
If I do this, then Taiko can play for me, and it can be the character. And instead of a manticore, it can be something else, you know, and it can be a very cute mega knoll puppy or something.
Yeah, so we have a new guest star on the show.
Yes.
Who joined us on the break.
Humans, he can teleport us everywhere.
All right. I think he's rapidly grown into our show's mascot.
Yes. I think he's going tired now, and he's gone.
It's me time, Dad.
I'm involved. I'm involved.
Ah.
So, Pacandra, you have just awoken to turmoil where the where a rock is literally being carved from the earth.
I just Bev, what have I missed?
Oh, nothing. Just same old, as they say.
Uh-huh. You know what? Never mind. That's fine. You want to take a stone with you? You want to take that pebble? Fine. You're my friend. I love you. And
I don't want to do it. I
Uh-huh.
have to do it.
Why?
Because Nevin told me that I had to, and he threw cold water on me. And I don't quite remember why exactly I was so upset earlier, but I'm sure it has to do with the daily beatings and the fact that he didn't let me sleep in. And I feel like I have the moral high ground here. So this is just happening.
Okay, look, I'm just going to say one thing and one thing only, and then, you know, I will do and help you in whatever way you want me to, and I so happen to be able to, okay?
Okay.
This is important because this is a true pillar of Manticore life. Okay? You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, no matter who told you.
But he's my superior.
Only in rank, but not in power.
But it's written in the book.
You know the books can be rewritten? I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know if I can write. I can't read.
You can't read?
I don't think so. No, I've never tried. It's easy.
Well, okay. I'm going to teach you how to read.
Oh, this is very exciting. How? Now?
Well, it takes a little bit. I'll just teach you a little bit every night. I think this might be a process. But you should definitely learn how to read. We'll just do Latin first because I don't know any of the Manticora native tongues, and then we can go from there. I can also speak Primordial, but we should just get to that later. Dead languages and all, you know.
What's the point? I mean, I don't understand. What is the point of reading anyway? You just tell your stories and you say it to people when you want to tell them, and then they hear it, and then they go and say the same thing to somebody else, and that's it.
But other people tell their stories a different way, and you can never know those stories unless you read them.
But you can write them in a different way. I just don't see the practicalities of it.
But, well, you can store a large amount of information, and not everyone's as clever as you are. Some people have to write things down.
Look, you know what? You're my friend, and I am going to. I am going to trust you. There, I said it.
Ooh. Oh, cool. I trust you too.
Oh, oh my God. I feel better now. Thank you, Biff.
See, now we can, like, in this book, we can write that we're friends. That's awesome.
But we can tell people anyway, don't we?
Yeah. And now it's in writing, so other people who, like, read things can also know.
Okay, I just trust you. So that's fine by me. Yeah, okay.
But do you want to help me with these pittons? Because we really need to get this rock off the cliff before Nevin comes back.
Well, I can do two things. And I will do whatever you want me to do. That's absolutely fine. I can do two things. I can either help you put the rock where you want me to put it, or I can delay Nevin so you can do it.
Oh, delay him.
Okay. I'm sure I can find something for him to do whilst, the dwarf is doing things with the stone. So where is he now?
I don't know, probably skulking, trying to buy something that he deems as useful, ruining somebody's day in the mead hall, or generally just casting a dour shadow on any joy that anyone would ever want to have ever.
Yeah, that sounds like him. See, I didn't need to write that. I'm just going to go there and ask for him. Have you seen a very gloomy hollow one?
Thank you, Picandra.
My pleasure entirely. Bye. And I just get out and start to ask people, have you seen a very gloomy, hollow one? Huge armor, gray, well, very serious. Take his time to reply to everything. Uses only the exact amount of words.
You spot Nevin strolling through the crowd, looking very somber and stoic. And they're like,
Never!
Yeah.
And I literally just pounce on him from behind and hug him. From like, so good to see you, old chum. I've missed you so much. You have no idea how hard it is to be away from
Please release your grasp.
This is not a grasp. This is a hug. Look, I'm going to grasp you and really get very tight, very, very tight. See the difference?
I'm counting to 5.
You can count to 5?
1.
Okay. I just pounce in front of him and I grab your hand and say, we have to go somewhere.
Where do we have to go? And for what purpose?
Over there, and so I can tell you now. I will tell you in a minute when we get there.
With
very well.
Axan kind of leans on a shovel, looking rather grumpy. Look, I'm not going to give in with this thing, but I think I need to get in some help. I'm going to have to get my cousin involved.
Okay.
There might be some explosions, so we're probably going to have to keep the crowd back.
Okay, I'll get everyone back. You perform your work.
Cool.
I obviously, I take out some string, I make some nerdy calculations, and then I make a blast radius. I tell everyone that this is part of the performance, and that it's going to end with a big bang.
Okay, I'm going to go grab my cousin. He's he's just in town trying to learn some new things from inside the library. So it'll give me 10 minutes or so, but we'll be back, and then you'll see some fireworks.
Thank you.
And he strolls off, stumps off.
All right. I just ensure like everyone's safe. Like I'm really careful about that. Like I don't want like especially like if there's kids or something or like elderly, like I really make sure that everyone is behind the line safely type thing.
Yeah, they generally respect your wishes and stand back. There are lots of oohs and ahs and excited murmur. What could possibly be happening? For Kandra.
I just take Nevin someplace and I say, I just had a question to ask you. And it's a little bit personal. So I wanted to take you away from everybody so I could ask you without anybody hearing. Not because I'm trying to make time for
You have a
anything.
question, ask it.
Okay, look, I'm going to show you something. And then I'm going to ask you, and I begin to lick my paw and rub my face. This is how we wash our face. I just wanted to know, how do you do it? How do
you don't know?
No, how do you wash your face?
We walk into the sea, and at the bottom of it, we encounter a species of glowfish that bite at our faces and remove all of the dirt.
Isn't it licking your paw a little bit easier? I mean, what happens if you don't have the sea?
Sometimes if you get lucky, they're in the bottom of a river.
But what if you don't have the river in your mountain or in the forest?
Well, then your centurion should be disciplined for not planning the route correctly.
That sounds like harsh. Can you lick your armpit? I can't. Look.
Can and need are two very different things.
I bet you cannot lick your elbow.
I have no need to lick my elbow.
Yeah, but it's cool if you can, because nice party trick. I've done it many times and people get really annoyed because they cannot make it. And I just keep going.
Are
on
you
and
sure
on.
it's about licking their elbow?
Yeah. Like, what else do you think you have in mind? What else would you want to lick? I mean, you can lick your face and your armpits and your elbows, so they're all playing. What?
Dove, you're over at the library, aren't you? So give me a perception check, please. Just it's very quiet in there, and you hear some deep rumbling voices. So just give me a DC 10 perception check.
Sorry, a
DC 10 perception check.
10. Do you want me to roll it again then?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
There we go. That's 15.
Yeah, excellent. You hear two dwarves overhear two dwarves talking, and one's like, "Cuz, I need you back at the rock. I need you rune magic." The other dwarf sounds rather
At the mention of the word magic, my pointy ears wiggle.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, you're from your history and the Drendali people with the dwarfs of Burok Torn, you're well aware that the dwarves have rune casters. So they actually have mastered the knack of placing magic into a rune that can then be stored and used later.
Right. So I would very much be interested in seeing that in action. So I'll place my wide brim hat back on top of my head and follow at a distance.
Yeah, sure. They take you straight back, arrow-like, towards your own encampment. Walk a good few paces beyond that, and you can see Viv is there. trying to ask a crowd to kind of stay back and form a perimeter. They seem to be getting a bit more excited as time's going by. Kids keep trying to slip past her reach. But yeah, the two dwarfs, one of them nods at Viv, so you get a nod from Axan as he returns with his cousin Viv. And the other dwarf is he's wearing flowing robes, basically, not kind of like priestly robes, more studious, I guess. You can see scroll, the old scroll case hanging off. He's carrying a backpack, and he's like, "You want me to do what? Why on earth, on our god's beard, would I waste my time with that rock? I've crafted chambers for kings, and you want me to blow up a rock?"
Oh, I walk over, say, "Hello, sir.
He scowls in your direction.
I realize that this is perhaps a inconsequential use of your time. But for me, it is right now very, very important. So could you please help?"
Might I interject at this point, sir, on behalf of my friend Viv?
By Goron's beard, it's a Drendali!
Oh,
Yes.
I push him forward, like, oh, thank God.
You do not know how much I appreciate you saying that. I've been called Elf for the last 3 weeks, and it grates. Now, all I'm going to say to you is this. If you practice your magic in front of this crowd,
Get your
Not
perfume
only-
person away from me, elf.
will you impress them, but also think of the notoriety when they speak of your name after the event. Your participation in this
Is he still talking to me, Axan?
will be the talking point of the whole carnival. It'll be you they speak of. Take it as an opportunity, sir. It could
You can
open
see-
doors for you.
You can see the who is allegedly the runecaster is getting seriously agitated and more angry as you continue speaking. And
Can I
Axan's-
roll for persuasion?
Sorry?
Can I roll for persuasion?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. No. No.
Axan's
back.
looking rather sheepish, and he's kind of like looking between Dovif and Viv.
Okay.
And he's like,
I
you didn't tell me you travelled
I
with
push
a-"
I pushed Ovid back. Like, and I say,
I know I'm not wanted. Oh,
no. All right. Sir Dwarf, I travel with an insufferable, overbearing superior, which has ordered me to move this rock or apologize to him for morning beatings. So I really, really need this rock moved, because as my friend Picandra told me, apparently I don't deserve to be attacked every morning. So please help me. I have money that I promised your brother and this jar of flesh.
his bulbous nose wrinkles slightly at the jar of flesh. He's just glowering still, but Axan steps forward and kind of he gently pats your arm. I've got this, Viv. At the end of the day, she's paid me money. I'm under contract. I've never failed my word, Arax, and you owe me. So I'm calling in that favour. And Arax kind of blusters and bluffs and sticks his chest out, huffs and puffs slightly. Well, I suppose I have to do it then. Keep these people back.
I go back and I go over to Dovis and I say, I'm sorry. I guess he doesn't like people who are eloquent.
And tell that Drendali to turn away. I don't want him seeing what I'm up to.
And he doesn't like people with eyes.
Parochial. I take it it's water off a duck's back. It neither hurts me nor harms me. And I'm sure I could get off some sarcasm that would cut him to the quick, but we'll just let, if the job gets done, the job gets done. That's all we want to do.
Thank you, food giver.
You're more than welcome.
Nevin and Pacandra.
So the ability to lick one's elbow in this region is related to.
It's related to your ability to make friends, entertain, and have an awful lot of flexibility, which could keep your arms very clean all the time, and your face.
Ah, is this why you and the Fox clan do not get on? They cannot lick their elbows.
Yes. You got it. Very good. I am very impressed. I mean, not everybody understands that, but you got it just like that. See, that's why you're my friend, because I only have amazing people as friends.
Given that you're asking me this, am I to infer that I am smelling like a member of the Fox clan?
No, I'm just trying to tell you because you being kind of a weird. I mean, a hollow one. I don't expect from you the same thing that I expect from other manticore, because at the end of the day, you're kind of not like me, which doesn't mean that you don't have value and I don't love you and I don't think that you're absolutely amazing. I don't want you to die, and I think that we're going to be the best friends ever, and eventually you're going to develop a feeling of
That you hear
something.
A great big crack-a-goom! And there's a massive shockwave that spreads across the kind of tented encampment.
And as we hear that, I say to you,
from your feet.
And I say to you now, and now I don't have to waste any more time, and we can go back.
I've seen it. I see it with my eyes.
You walk outside of the tent where you're having a discussion, and there are people picking themselves up off the floor. There's a lot of a lot of upset.
I stride back towards the encampment.
Back at Viv, back at the scene with the rock. You've seen Erax head over to your rock that everybody refuses to give up on, and he spent several minutes inscribing runes upon the more flat surfaces of the rock in very particular spots. So he's inscribed the runes, and then you've heard him murmur words into the runes. And eventually, when he's kind of satisfied, he walks back to join yourselves on the perimeter of the crowd. Glances over to check that Dovith isn't looking. Are you looking, Dovith, or are you?
You're muted.
I said he doesn't know that I'm looking, but I'm definitely looking every time he turns around. I go,
give me a stealth check.
You found a mirror.
The mirrored surface. I'm kind of holding up my brooch and going. Oh.
Give me a stealth check.
Stealth check.
Yeah. Against
That's 13.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think he underestimated my sneakiness.
Doesn't seem to catch any movement, strangely. So once he's
you move really slowly, dwarves can't see you.
Dovith isn't looking. He kind of reaches a hand up in some strange gesture. Seems to grab. You I don't know. You assume maybe several string attachments in amongst his hand in some sort of arcane gesture and pull. And there's you can just see the runes glow. in a kind of reddy gold, mystical energy that seems to get thrust into the rock itself, and the rock shatters into two halves. That it lifts where they've pittoned and hammered into the rock, trying to lift it from its base. It lifts that, and then it splits centrally, and both sides flop. And roll it's you all get blasted from your feet. I mean, you can give me a dex check if you like to try and stay on your feet. But we'll call that,
never goes down like a sack of spuds.
We'll call that DC 18.
Is that a ability check or a saving throw?
Saving throw, sorry.
Let's see.
Ooh, nearly.
Holy garbage, I'm off my feet.
Too busy trying to sneak a look.
Yeah, too busy.
Nope. 2 in awe.
So yeah, you're blasted from your feet. As is Axan, Erax seems to kind of weather his own magic. But yeah, there's as the rock shatters, whatever energy was sent into it gets sent heavenward, and Erax just kind of dusts his hands. Job done. Can I go back to my studies now?
I start clapping and hoping everyone in the crowd claps with me.
Yeah, there are children crying. You know, there are
Oh no!
manticore parents, holding their children's ears and kind of dusting themselves down. There are lots of tears and shock.
Now,
Well,
been waiting there. Children have been hurt. Arrest that man.
Well, it was a show, I guess.
yeah. I just start helping the workers get the rock on the carriage because I hope to be posing on top of the rock by the time Nevin gets back to camp.
Okay. There are you get lots of angry looks as parents are shepherding their children away. A couple of bards, who you assume are storytellers, start to wander in your direction with confused looks. You're guessing they're hoping to get a scoop, maybe?
Whilst she's doing that, I'm going to immortalize Viv in ink in my book, and I'm actually going to draw a sketch of her sat on top of the rock that she can keep.
Yay! The bards, I just tell the immovable force, unstoppable object, and I say, obviously, we know who won this, but you're artistic people who can say that better. Excuse me, I need to pose on my rock.
Yeah.
I take my most artistic, nonsensical monk pose that Nevin told me I should never learn because I'd never use that martial art ever. And that form is far more art than it is actually practical. And I keep that pose on the rock for when he comes.
How does a cartwheel give you better defense against javelins? It makes no sense.
Yep. So one-handed handstand it is, balancing my war fan on my tail.
So that's the sight that greets you, Nevin and Picandra, as you make your way back to the edge of the Tenton encampment. You see Vivian in a one-handed pose with her war fan spread-eagled on her tail. Dovid's chatting to, I imagine, a couple of other bards and storytellers to enhance the tale.
No, I'm immortalizing her in ink.
An instant.
I'll walk up near the cart and just kind of wedge my shield in the dirt and kind of lean on it.
And you can see the dwarven crew and the orc pick themselves up, and they're now busy themselves building kind of trestle path with logs to get one half of the rock moving towards the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's your rock.
The rock you said was impossible for you to move.
the rock I said I would move because I was given a direct order to do it.
Yes, you did something you thought wasn't possible because the order was given. I'm glad to see you've learned the lesson. Would you prefer I wait for the full response, or will it be in writing this evening?
You know the answer to that. Move along.
Under 5 pages, please. Your calligraphy really starts to slip after the 6th page still.
I'm writing my response, which I normally put underneath his shield at night, but I'm following what Decanter said because I don't have to follow what he said. I write 5.5 pages.
It's under 6 pages, so the calligraphy's still fine.
So, yeah, as you kind of dealing with the aftermath of the shockwave, Dradoki reappears. Somehow, I kind of knew it would be you folks. I'm sure there's a story there.
Mm-hmm. Guilty by our own reputation.
This could be an interesting trip. I'm rather glad to be sharing it with you yourselves.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be bored.
Something tells me we won't be. I mean, other than the fact that we're, well, I mean, do you have any news on when you might want to be leaving yet? I know it's only been one night, but...
Our business in town is largely concluded unless Adamantine is likely to arrive during the Night of Chronicles. We have very little business left here.
Well, I mean, she has a long way to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly travel in your wake from the Gleaming Valley, but it's up to you. I'm happy to stay a few more nights and weave some more tales. Or we can make plans to leave, however that might be.
We will wait.
Is that the group consensus?
That is what will happen.
Yeah, well,
He kind of raises
there's bits I need to pick up before we make a move, to be honest with you. So I could do with some extra time. Leaving tomorrow would be conducive with my plans, I think.
Tomorrow, then?
We will wait until the Night of Chronicles has been resolved and Adamantine has had every opportunity to make contact.
That could be several nights, you know.
Then we will have ample opportunity to discuss it further.
Right. Look, I'm going for some lunch. Shall we at least make plans to see how we're going to travel?
Certainly, I have acquired several maps that may be of use.
I mean, it looks like you have a wagon at your disposal now, at least.
Indeed.
And a big rock.
Sort of a rolling stone,
You
one would
muted,
say.
Paco. You muted.
That rock is going to be very useful at some point. I can sense it.
Let's see if it gathers some moss.
Well,
So we can hide it.
I'll buy lunch. Let's talk about how we're gonna travel.
Certainly.
Well, in fact, I don't need to buy it. People have gifted me enough food today from my stories to keep us all well fed. And I'm guessing Viv's hungry for more of the digging and hacking.
Oh, yes, please. If we're going to be here for the whole night of stories until we leave, how does one go about making money when they are talentless with the spoken word?
You must have some talent, Viv.
Um,
I mean, we're performers and entertainers, so that could, as you know, Dovif, run a whole gamut of skills, really.
I'm fast and dexterous. Like I can do all these cool forms. But then it looks really good. My character is actually confident in martial arts.
Yeah. Well, Manticore warriors at heart, so
wrestling, you could wear a mask and everything, and have a whole persona and jump off the ropes.
That will earn me money.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at it. We could even call you the Rock.
I like it.
Failing that, you could open a quarry.
I make a quick note on a paper which looks like an addendum, and I slip it into my pocket.
Or collect tiny pebbles and make a whole society. And you could put like little googly eyes on them and write funny mottos and sell them.
Well, it's just I have some workers with like people who are manning the carriage, and I'd like to also help pay for their food. Like you all have provided food for me, so I want to earn some money.
I mean, like I was trying to say, the Manticore warriors at heart. So you could certainly offer out some lessons in your form of combat. I mean, there must be some Manticore who'd put that art form, that combat form to use with their claws and teeth.
Oh, okay. I've had lots of training on how not to teach somebody. I should be good at this.
Well,
yeah, like I don't have anything that I like out of character, like besides for trying to earn some money so I can feed the crew while we travel. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, you could depends how much you want to let know people that you can speak to the spirits. You could certainly offer out services as a sort of clairvoyant, maybe.
Oh yeah, I love speaking to dead people. Sure.
Actually, I could set up some small illusions to kind of really a bit of showmanship. I could set you up a booth. You could have. I can talk to your aunties and uncles, and I can some kind of smoke and lights. And this is my milieu. This is my go-to. So if that's the kind of thing you want to do, that's something we could certainly pull off. What we need is a tiny tent. I've even got some things you can wear to make yourself look more mysterious, and then I've got my crystal ball and the tarot cards, and we could lay that out as an aesthetic. And you could talk to spirits, and we could charge a couple of silver a go.
Okay, I'll just do that. You arrange it, and I'll do it.
Arrange it, and you just come up with your entertainer name.
The Rock?
Could be something a bit more punchy than that, I would have thought. Mysterious Strata or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll arrange it. I'll be back in half an hour.
Okay.
Vivian, how about Vivian the Visionist?
Ooh, I like that. Yes, Vivian the Visionist. Excellent.
That was from Draki. Okay, so several nights of the Night and Chronicles aside, how would we like to travel as a group? I'm partial to any form of travel. I'm happy to walk. I've certainly walked a good length and breadth of Gelsbad in my time. We could catch a boat from Leone here, and travel the Clarity River south.
Say flying carp.
What?
Flying carpets.
Flying carpets. Surely they're something of
You have something?
Maybe if you knew somebody from Shells are.
Do you?
I
Could you get us connected?
I'm more of a people's person from around here, so the Ganges, the broad reach. I'm well travelled, but my connections are all local.
Well, I think anything that doesn't do too much impact on the old feet, you see. So maybe a boat or a donkey cart or camel. I don't know. I'm open to.
A camel?
Yeah, I mentioned camel once, but they got the hump.
Oh, good one, my friend. Are you here as a comedian to put on a show?
No, it just comes naturally. It's called wit or charisma.
In your own estimation, shall we say?
Well, it's one I prize quite highly.
What does everybody else recommend? Obviously, we can hire or purchase mounts, but I'm not sure if you have the coin to do that. I can help if need be. Or we can, like I say, take a boat travel.
I imagine there's caravans that leave this place that we could attach ourselves to, or boats or cargo.
Boats.
Lanterns, you know?
Yeah. So, boats will get us a certain way into along our journey. We'd still have to, but it kind of unfortunately won't take us directly into the Ganges. So we'd still have to find some method of getting through the Ganges and crossing to Broadreach.
Well, we would say travel by boat as far as we can go, alight there, and then arrange travel from there thence, you know? Make a connection. I mean, surely there must be some kind of spice merchants or cargo carriers that we could.
There is a certain flow of trade to and from the Ganges.
I mean, the only reason I suggest this is, one, if we go by freight or passenger, then we're less likely to draw attention than traveling on our own by foot. And certainly we might offer our services and earn an extra bit of coin as protection.
Well, I can, unless anybody wants to take on that task, I can ask around in Leone to see when and if a boat will be able to take us, and how far.
I think that.
Are we still like?
What do you say, all?
Yes, please.
I don't mind, whatever's faster. I'm fine with that, yeah, whatever. I don't care, whatever.
Well, I mean, it will cut out 100 miles or so of journey for us. Quite
there you go, that's good, yay.
That sounds good to me. I think that's a fantastic idea that you've come up with, and you should run with it.
Very smoothly done, my friend. I don't believe all the rumours that the mountain dwarves say of the Drendali.
No, they're all completely true. That's why I'm here and not there.
Oh, really?
Why would I be here otherwise?
Then perhaps we have some things to discuss during the journey.
Possibly. Be nice to have an natter. I'm not going to give everything away on the first date. I think you and me are going to be good friends.
So everybody's happy? I'll look into a boat. And then are we taking it by foot after the boat?
Well, like I say, when we get there, the journey's end by boat, we'll look at our options, I think.
Okay, I'll find out.
What might present itself?
I mean, we'll need to travel down Clarity Creek. And there is a small trading outpost at the other end where we can get dropped off. So there might be the opportunity to gain some mounts there, depending. But it will speed us along. So, unfortunately, he says with a rather smug grin, unfortunately, our journey departure may be determined by the boat's own departure.
Okay. I mean, worst comes to worst, we can leave a message here, Nevin, for if your contact turns up to kind of reach us.
If the boats do not are leaving before Adamantine arrives, then we are not taking a boat. It is that simple.
Wow. That's diplomacy for you. What does everybody else say?
I want to protest, but don't dare. Biv.
Kendra?
What say you? I trust you. You're my friend.
Well, you're not an auxiliary, Kendra. You're like an important independent person. So, one, according to the book, actually, Nevin doesn't order you around. So you do you. Two, Nevin, according to the third scholar's argument of, well, you know, like these kind of situations, which I've read a lot about social situations.
The last time
Maybe-
you quoted a scholar, it was before you told me that you'd found several horses and some very angry people that were shouting something about someone had unbolted a barn.
Anyway, rather than just naysaying everything, why don't you try to improve our situation? And obviously, our good dwarven friend over here has put a fair amount of effort into trying to assist us. He's feeding us and paying for our way and taking us on an adventure. So if you and I want to find Adamantine, rather than just saying we're going to wait around to find her, we could try like asking more people and like looking for her than just sitting on our butts and waiting. Or standing and polishing our sword for like 3 more nights and missing out on a great adventure.
We will talk about this tonight.
I want to talk about it with witnesses.
I want to be there.
We all want a great number of things.
I am going to be there.
I turned to the dwarf in an act of rebellion, and I say, "Thank you, sir, for arranging this. I'm going to talk to my colleagues at the moment and try to come to a solution, because we also want to help you on your way to get to your home, because that's important."
Well, thank you, Vivian. Very much appreciate this. Like I said, I've travelled a lot, and it's only my opinion, but I think it should be the group's decision, not determined on the outcome of one meeting that may or may not happen. You know, my business is pretty much concluded here, so I'm happy to leave as soon as we can secure passage. give or take a day or two. But I'll leave yourselves to discuss the matter. I'll inquire as to a boat, and I'll hopefully find you tonight after the stories wind down this afternoon, and hopefully we can agree upon a date to leave Leone.
Okay. Good luck.
Kind
Me
of gives you
too.
a kind of gives you a smug grin, Nevin, as he walks off, and a little bit of a wink.
Just internally, as he's walking away, I'm watching his gait and going, okay, he leans to the right, so he's likely to leave a open defense to his left. Which, to be fair, is fairly standard for Nevin.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, fortune telling. You game? I've got your tent all set up for you. It's looking lovely.
So Kendra, you can be
Yeah.
a recruiter too, right?
I can be what? What?
Like recruit people, like get people to the tent so that Terry can. I'm not allowed to use the word swindle, right?
Entertain.
Entertain them, and I can talk to dead people.
Where did you learn that word?
This is the trick. You can actually talk to dead people.
Oh, that's true.
If
Yeah. So, what do you say?
I said you can actually do it though. This is the swindle. You're not swindling them. You're actually talking to dead people. Whereas if I was to do it, as I oft do, it is a complete swindle. I just tell people what they want to hear so they can feel better and leave thinking they've spent some money to, contact, loved ones. Whereas you actually do it, it will actually happen. And the only variable is generally when people actually speak to their ancestors, they often hear things they don't want to hear. And that's the only thing I'd be careful about.
Okay.
Generally,
Well,
they
you'll
only
be
want
there
to
to
know.
smooth that over. It's fine.
They only want to know where they hid the family fortune. Or
Okay.
but yeah, we're good to go, I think. So if we go and canvas, maybe the old people's home, I don't know. If we go and canvas and kind of sell your story to the crowd, which I'll find a soapbox to do, and we'll generate some interest. Come and see the rock lady.
Oh no, I'm Vivian the visionary.
Yeah,
Alliteration.
Vision the visionary, the lady of the rock.
Ooh, nice. Mythical.
See, we're building up already. There's a backstory. So this is what I do.
I'm just
It'll
picturing
be
a tent being set
fantastic.
up with shards of the rocks displayed around as well. That's why we blew
Oh
up the
yeah,
rock.
definitely that's already there. And I've managed to find some glitter-like substance to put on the rocks so they kind of fluoresce in the torchlight.
That's
It
Oh,
looks
can we,
very.
Kendra, can we also like run it through your hair so you're also super glittery while you?
Yeah, well, I've used
Yes.
precipitation as well to give you some dry ice effects as well.
I
at
can
the
just imagine, like,
tent.
that's why we blew up the rock, because it focuses your attachment
Yeah.
to elder spirits. So
Mm.
we can sell you shards of the rock if you want to speak to your elders. Kind of.
Yeah. Take a keepsake when you leave, a tiny piece of rock. They take a piece of rock with them as a memento. Keep it safe and keep it secret. It's a winner. We can actually go on tour. If we're going on this journey, we could go on tour. I think we're working on an enterprise here. I think this could be the start of something good.
So as you're discussing this, Nevin stands up and leaves the tent. But yeah, you actually get a fairly good response from the crowds around Leone. They are obviously all well aware of the explosive events around midday, and the words quickly spread of who was behind that. And yeah, mixed amongst the rumours seems to be some sort of legend that Riven has a way of talking to people or talking to spirits that might not necessarily be visible. So you get a fairly long queue, to be fair, outside of the tent. You managed to round up a few more Pacandra. Lots of people seem excited about this.
Okay. I like that, and I try to make them kind of cover themselves in glitter as part of the ritual. You know,
Yeah.
May your future and your visions be as fabulous as.
I can't. And lots of the Manticora seem really excited. Like, Pacandra. Do you know? Will it answer the great question of what's happened to our ancestral spirits?
Well,
it's one of our great mysteries. You know, lots of other species out there have their gods' homes to go to, but we've always lacked somewhere since Van Gaal left us to it. Like, when we get some answers.
Maybe the point is, will you? And you will not know until you get there. So you must get there. Here, start like this. All the time.
Wow.
I love the fact I found you all into con artists so early in the game.
Oh, I mean, Pacandra truly believes this is happening. No, I mean, Pacandra is definitely not in the conning people business. Pacandra is like, this is so real.
I can imagine your first customer kind of like walking into a smoky tent, almost like there's a smoke machine that flares occasionally with the illusionary magic. Wide-eyed Manticora that walks in like a cat and hot coals, and eyes everywhere, absorbing everything.
Got your crystal ball and the tablecloth over the table, and the cards and the jingly things hanging from the tent, and the incense.
And he takes a seat. I'm hoping to contact one of my great ancestors, who was a legend in the Divine War. He actually slew one of the great champions of Mormo during the battle around Hornsall. So I'd like to contact him and maybe just be able to bring some of his story forward into today's time.
Oh, okay. But Mark?
Sakura's like, would you like some help with this, Vivian?
I turn and I say, yes, please. So I thought maybe that people would just show up.
Now I'm going to consult with my spirit guide. I've primed her before.
You see the Manticora frown is sat in front of you, like, you can't just summon them.
Just hold on to this emotional support orb. I roll it over. One moment.
Okay.
I turn to Sakura.
And Sakura runs you through a battle with Titan Spawn that he remembers from his time. Not the Divine War, but it was a big battle the Manticora experienced.
Okay.
Against some Mormon worshippers around the Ganges 50 or so years. And it was still a large battle for the Manticora, and they were still trying to set up their nation around the area. So he describes that. He's talking about, you need to tease out the ancestor's name.
Okay.
Because I don't know that.
Oh.
Dolly.
So at this, so if I were to give your ancestor a nickname, because familiarity kind of works that way, what would their name be?
Well, he was the Reaver's right arm.
Ah, the Reaver's right arm. And that alliteration really works with his name too, right?
Well, he was one of Vanguard's champions after all. You know, he was literally at the forefront of the battles, side by side with
Vanguard's.
the Reaver himself.
I side-eye Sakura.
Yeah. Sakura's like...
And his name started with Ali.
A T?
Yeah, T. Okay, T. The toe. E. Tam.
This is when you
Sakura's like,
coming out.
Talishar. I think it's Talishar.
Talishar. Yes, that's it. I feel that here.
You see the Manticore getting more and more excited. Give me a either charisma or deception check.
Oh no. 1 second.
Got to stop doing that. He knows what it is. You know what it is, and you've got to stop doing it. You could get yourself in trouble, that kind of thing.
12.
12? Okay, that's, yeah. It's a very awkward first session. And the Manticore leaves with kind of probably as many questions as
and hit stone and give him the score of the stone.
And you get the feeling that you've just given the Manticore a tale from the Divine War that's clearly not absolutely 100% true because it's from a different time. But they're now going to add to their records and claim it's from that time period.
I think like Viv like doesn't like when she realizes actually what's happening.
Yeah.
Like the next people who come in, like she genuinely tries to give them she tries not to lie.
Yeah.
So she says like, I have a spirit here. I can ask the spirit certain questions, like as long as Sakura's okay with it. But like I can't give you all the information you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like and so like she tries to tell them like what's up basically.
Yeah.
And tries to give them like genuine information based on what they ask. Unless I see like a dead person attached to them, then I'll legit ask the person who's attached to them.
Yeah, that alleviates any sort of, after that first really uncomfortable session that you had, that you find your path really with that, and you have a good afternoon really with entertain the Manticore with either answers from Sakura that perhaps his own experience among the tribes. But yeah, you know very well after that experience to steer clear of any particular ancestors or tidbits they're asking about that, and keep it more generalised.
Cool.
But yeah, you earn yourself, a nice couple of days worth of food from that. You get left a hunter's bow and quiver. And you also, you pick up enough coins to add up to probably around about 12 gold pieces.
Cool. Gander, do you want this bow? Sorry. What did you say?
Well, it would be nice. You see what I'm looking at?
So it's a longbow and a quiver of arrows.
Cool.
I congratulate you after we're clearing up. Because I have a burgeoning sense of pride of kind of what you've been able to achieve today. And yeah, I didn't think you had it in you, but you carried it off beautifully, my dear. Maybe work on a few tweaks with the theatrics and that, just to kind of give them a bit more entertainment. But I think you've got a career there.
Oh.
Yeah, what is kind of been ticking over in my brain is we've actually been selling their own rocks back to them.
Wait, we're selling rocks?
Well, yeah, I was selling rocks. I gave the story that obviously you being the spirit of the rock, and the fact that we did the whole thing with the rocks, and I collected up some of the gravel and bits and pieces, and I was selling the rocks to the crowd as as keepsakes of the experience, and saying the rocks had kind of the essence of your spirituality, and they should keep them and keep using these lucky charms in the house and keep those somewhere special. And those rocks would kind of protect them against the evil spirits. And we turned a pretty penny on that as well.
Oh, I don't think we should do that in the future. Maybe we can just sell this glitter you made. Look how glamorous Picandra looks.
It looks fantastic.
I throw away my short bow. As in, I just need the long bow.
Yeah.
Sparkling in
You could donate it at a bonfire to a storyteller. No.
Just give it to here. Have a short bow. I don't need it anymore.
But yeah,
I will
like
give you. I feel bad now. I will give you what I've made on the rocks, and you can give it to whatever good cause you see fit.
no, just keep it and never tell Neffin about it ever.
Deal. My lips are sealed.
Cool.
For reference, I rolled a charisma save when I saw this kind of forming. I was just like, am I going to no, keep the cool.
Yeah.
Because nat 20. Whilst that's happening, Mark, I've gone out and I'm asking more about Adamantine and trying to get an idea of what road she's likely to have taken to get here.
Yeah, it was kind of intimated that she'd follow in your wake from the Gleaming Valley, so similar route to yourself, really. It's not actually 100% that she'll turn up. There's just been a lot of talk that they've known her here before to visit. Yeah, it's just how long you'd personally like to.
Oh, sorry, I was under the impression that my orders were to make contact with Adamantine and she had a tavern in a nearby area. If that's not the case, then
I might be
oh
mistaken,
boy.
might be mistaken originally, but yeah, no, she's. You were. It was my understanding. I'm sorry if I portrayed that wrong. That she was likely to turn up. It wasn't a given that she would. If not,
okay.
You were at least hoping to see a representative here.
Yeah. Okay.
But it seems like for your own kind of peace of mind, I guess, as a Hollow Legionnaire, it seems at the moment that the best lead you have is Ravana, who's actually in the direction that you're heading anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you ask around. You spend the better part of the rest of the day asking around at the Leone, and you are the only Hollow Legionnaire that a lot of them have seen for a little while.
Okay. Cool. That's what I do.
Well, I'm going to treat these two to fruit cocktails and glitter. We're going to go and take in a show.
Yeah.
I think they've earned it today. I think they've earned their fruit juices today. We're going to stay off the hard stuff. I don't think. keep it strictly pineapple.
Well, you've certainly become a renowned quadruplet at the Night of Chronicles. Anyway, everybody seems to, even in the the 2 short days you've been there now, everybody seems to recognise you all. Have a fairly positive word to say about you all. Yeah, Picandra, you're kind of glowing with that, I'd imagine. You're getting a little bit of respect among your own people.
And about time too.
Yeah, you're not just a cub anymore, which you weren't anyway. No. But people are starting to recognise that fact.
Exactly.
Vivian, I imagine this kind of a bit of a really appreciation for what you achieved this afternoon, but also edged with dealing with your naivety, I guess, with Vivian's naivety in terms of it not being a maybe enjoyable experience with that first customer, but yeah, a rather positive day for everybody, I think.
Yep.
I think we're coming to the end of our time. It's like nearly 10 o'clock in the UK, which is 5 p.m. EST. So we're going to leave this session of Scarland's Dead Man Rust as it is. Look forward to returning at 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. EST, Wednesday next week when Red Scar and friends get together to continue Dead Man's Rust.
If you enjoy it, consider following us on Twitter at Red Scar Gaming. You can follow us on Twitch as well, where we do other things. We've got a guest speaker coming in next week. We've got the one and only B. Dave Walters.
And remember to check out everybody's at tags there on Twitter, so you can reach out and speak to us if you want to. We'll look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.